Shive Sarvartu Sadike Sharanaya Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute.
My name is Umesh Shirwani, like I said, and I'm really super duper excited as a 4-year-old would be on getting a new toy. And that is because I am always in the quest for new knowledge and for meeting wonderful, enlightened people. Wishing you all a very happy and healthy Navratri to you, your family, your loved ones. And today's talk is something which I'm sure each and every one of you here is going to find very interesting, very informative, and hopefully different. However, as a team, including myself, we are deliberately not talking about the pandemic because as of now, I'm sure each one of us, there would be right now, I think around 30 of us, each one of us can probably get a doctorate, a PhD on the subject of COVID. So it's mind over matter, like always, in each one of my webinars also, you've heard me say that plenty of times, it's always mind over matter. And once we tune up our minds to the right beat, everything will fall in place. This whole 1 hour is going to help you retune and get into the beat. Nature has enforced this time upon each one of us to, reflect and introspect into our respective lives. Now, coming to the essence, the main triggers that, we have fallen prey to, and I'm sure all of you will agree with us that, largely under the umbrella of fear, anxiety or nervousness, restlessness, insecurity, sleep disorders, anger and violence. I'm sure each one of us, somewhere or the other, have been targets of these triggers. And it gives me great pleasure to bring forth to you our first guest, who has a practice of 30 years in the field of clinical homeopathy, Dr. Anita Daswani. She has many credits and accolades. First time ever, it was Dr. Daswani who was chosen by various corporate houses who started opting for homeopathy as part of their employee wellness initiatives. She also specializes in treating children with special needs and young adults. She also pioneers in treating mental health with homeopathy. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Anita Daswani. Hello, Doctor.
Thank you, Umesh. Thank you so much. A very happy Navratri to all of y'all. And thank you so much for taking out time and attending this little discussion, which, like Umesh said, is going to be a little different. And it's really going to go with all of y'all a long way. I hope so. And Umesh, your introduction was very kind. We are no legions. We still have a long way to go. And this was just a little bit of giving back to society. Mr. Lagu and me have been old colleagues, and we just thought of this thing of, these are times when I think with our own experiences and our own learnings, it's always nice to reach out to people, because times are such that, people are very hesitant, they're very reluctant to kind of ask for help. Everyone is in some kind of fear, paranoia, like you said. So this was the whole motto and the mission of this event this evening. So once again, we really truly welcome everybody with very warm greetings. And I think I'll have Sandeep ji say a few words.
Yes, absolutely. And before that, I'd like to take the honor of introducing Sandeep ji, truly a very, very dynamic personality with his positive vibes and his ever smiling face. He always brings a smile on everybody's face. I've had the wonderful opportunity to interview him earlier too, and I'm Mr. Sandeep Lagu, who is an integrative breathing therapist, a wellness consultant, body-mind coach, having an experience of over 30 years in teaching therapeutic yoga, dynamic breath work, and meditation. And he has guided successfully across the globe people to find a healthy and mind and body connection. So with great pleasure, please allow me in welcoming this very dynamic personality with us, Mr. Sandeep Lagu. Hello, yeah. Sandeep ji.
Good evening to all, and wish you a very happy Navaratri. And thank you for your kind words, Mr. Umesh. You always talk good. And you're also a very positive person. And let's start the program. I think we are a little late. So we want to cover more therapeutic solutions. So I think we should straight away jump into the subject.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. So to kickstart, I would request Dr. Anita Daswani to please begin the process and do the honors of please enlighten us in this present time. What, according to you, should be the course of action for us? And with all these emotional triggers and, emotional imbalances that we are going through, please throw some light on that, please.
Thank you again. So I think talking of emotional disturbances and, emotional disorder, whatever you may term the thing as, basically, there's definitely there's no sync between mind and body. And when the synchronization between mind and body is not balanced, or when the synchronization is not happening for whatever reason, anything could be a trigger. It could be the pandemic, it could be any trauma, it could be anything. Okay, that's when in homeopathy, what we have learned is that, the body manifests some kind of disease. Now, in our practice over 30 years, and I'm sure Sandeep ji would also agree, that the biggest emotion or the biggest, what I would say is a subconscious, disturbance, which is always kind of, the main monkey in our minds is, I would say, is fear. I'm sure you would agree to that.
Yes.
So fear is by itself a very, very broad-based subject, but it's something very universal. I'm sure every one of us here, everyone in this audience has experienced fear in some kind or the other, maybe in a very small dose, maybe in a very large dose, but fear has been like an omnipresent emotional, what I should say, an emotional discomfort, which we all have been victims of, and especially considering the current situation. So, like Shri Abdul Kalam ji defined fear in a very nice way by saying that what is fear? It's a false evidence that appears real. So this is what it explains. So basically it's the fear that once we succumb to any kind of fear, that's where our boat will definitely rock. Talking about alternate medicine and homeopathy, we get into a lot of deep study of the individual. We try and find out as to what is the main cause, what is the reason, anything happened in the past, anything happened in the recent past, or any such thing in the individual's life that has triggered it and which has stayed on. And unfortunately, what happens is that when you don't speak, or you don't let out your feelings, or you tend to suppress it, you're nurturing that fear factor. So it's very important And therefore, like, we thought of this whole idea together that I think half the battle is won when we speak out. We need to let out our emotions. So this is what basically fear is. Again, I mean, you have a child or somebody who's who's scared of a dog or who's scared of a cat. I mean, you won't term that individual as fearful. So fearfulness is again a very long drawn. I mean, it's to do a lot to do with the psychology of the mind. I mean, there are continuous thoughts, there are continuous feelings. It could be imaginary. I mean, there are a lot of cases, lot of individuals, lot of kids who are very fearful of being in a dark room. So that's the time we use the word fearful. I mean, I've treated a lot of patients. The first thing they'll say, doctor, I've got this rash, ye cancer to nahi hai. That is fear. So again, fear is a subject which we need to look into, we need to introspect, and we need to know that is that really fear, or it's just a transient feeling which will come. Let it come and then let it go. So let's hear Sandeep Ji's breathing techniques on how to overcome fear.
Yes, that was very enlightening. Yes, Sandeep ji, please, please.
Yeah, I can just say one line about fear. जो डर गया, समझो मर गया. We all know that from Bollywood, right? And if you just think about fear, it has a association with future tense. Our mind is always running in three, either past or future, and very rarely you will find your mind is in present tense. But breathing is the most important activity. We know that, and we are very consistent about our breathing. We inhale and we exhale 24/7. Breathing belongs to present tense. So the moment you come to your breathing, your future is gone, your past is gone. So fear belongs to future. If you're able to cut down your future, I think you will overcome the fear. But there are, of course, physiological effects of fear, as she said. Yes, fear has something to do with your stomach. So I can start with a small, because I don't like to explain too much. Let's come to the practical solution, and immediately we can do some breathing exercise, which is very easy, which is very natural for all of us. So whenever we have a fear, there is something happening in the stomach. Fear always brings certain noticeable changes. Am I right?
Absolutely.
You can just keep,
True.
whenever you are in
like
fear,
you
just keep your hand on the chest, and you will feel you have the heartbeat or some palpitation or some gulping problem or some sweat on your forehead, vagera, vagera, vagera. So how to deal with it? I call it, whenever you experience fear, put your breathing in first gear. That's a good line, right? So whenever you experience fear, use first gear. What is first gear? First gear is nothing but you inhale and exhale in 90 beats per minute. Like you inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. But this particular expression, emotional expression, has association with your tummy, stomach. So we will do abdominal breathing. All right. Everyone ready?
Yes, absolutely.
I cannot see. Normally, I'm used to see people. Anyway, so I'm going to just play tick-tock on metronome. It's kind of a music, a beat. So getting the right beat here. So tick is your inhale, tock is your exhale, and every time you exhale, you simply move your stomach inside, contract your stomach. All right. Sit erect, drop your shoulders, arms loose, close your eyes. You may remove your specs. Can you hear it? Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Tick tock. So every tick is your inhalation, every talk is your exhalation. And each time you exhale, squeeze your stomach in like a sponge. If you can keep your videos on, if possible, I can see Lata. Yeah, thank you very much. So I don't want you to keep your face tight. You know, keep your stomach tight every time you exhale. Relax your face. I can see only few faces. Go on, don't worry. This is a helpful breathing. Yes, Mr. Dixit, you're doing good. Keep it up. So, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So take all your mind to your stomach. Yes, you can exhale by mouth for a couple of times. And remember to squeeze your stomach each time you exhale. This is not only good to deal with fear, but it will take out the fear of your past. I call it emotional cleansing. Sometimes we store fear inside our stomach, and that is responsible for digestive disorders. Inhale, exhale. Come on, last 20 seconds. Yes, as a beginner, you may exhale by mouth. I know you cannot achieve everything in one day. This is just an introduction of this technique. Okay, now just close your eyes and do normal breathing and just observe your mind. You will definitely find your mind in present tense. So you can practice this first gear whenever you are experiencing fear. You don't need this instrument. You can just memorize this tempo. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And this will do some magic to you. Back to Mr. Umesh.
Yes, Mr. Lahu, thank you so much. That was indeed very, very informative. And me, of course, I forgot to mention to our listeners here that I do have a psychology background and, with 2 books in the writing that, on the human mind. So I understand by this breathing technique, are we also, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, are we also activating our parasympathetic nervous system, which is basically the rest and repair mode of our body? That's what's happening, right? We are just coming back to that homeostasis, that balance, which is, kind of fight or flight would be sympathetic, and this brings back our parasympathetic. So excellent, I think, and very nice. Though I was able to do it only just for just if you could highlight. Yes.
You should try it out. It helps.
Absolutely. If you could just highlight to us, I'm sure this question is in most minds. In the beginning, you mentioned 90, something about the word 90.
Beats per minute.
90 beats per minute. How do we time that?
In short, 45 times you inhale and 45 times you exhale in 1. Okay? Because our breathing has something to do with your body and mind. Breathing is like a bridge between your body and mind. Okay? Body knows present tense. Body can't go in future. Breathing can't go in future. Mind can go in future. So we are just trying to bring body and mind together in present tense with this breathing. So you have to synchronize your abdominal muscles with breathing. In Europe or America, they call it belly breathing. We call it diaphragmatic breathing. It's all the same. You have to activate your stomach. And second advantage, if you do this 10 times a day for a minute, you can get rid of belly fat because you are giving some work to your stomach, because we don't give work to the
Everybody's
stomach.
going to do that.
Wow, yeah, with the lockdown weight.
So I think let's conclude fear. Okay,
Yes.
so in other words, forget everything and run. So we just move on to the next, okay?
Yeah, I love it the way, we are going where you've given us a perspective into fear that false evidence appearing real. Lagu giving us excellent. Yes, let's move on to the next one if I have your permission.
I have been telling this line in Marathi. I always say, "Bhiti khoti aste." Fear is false. It is not real. Fear is never real. You think this may happen. Something may go wrong. Don't think. Simple. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
At the end of the day,
sorry, but I'm going to expedite because we can't take too much time of our audiences. So we need to really forget everything and run. Not forget this topic, not this discussion, not this session. Okay. So what does fear then lead to? A lot of anxiety. Okay. Now, what is anxiety? Here I would like to say that anxiety again is something which everybody experiences. Okay. I mean, today you have a guest coming over, you get a little anxious. Your child is getting late to school, you get a little anxious. So these are normal reactions of our brain or of our emotion to these kind of, again, so-called short triggers or very temporary triggers. It's the brain's way of reacting to stress and just alerting us, that, okay, like, hello, like, we can't just be quiet and say, okay, like, we have another 48 hours for my child to reach school. So that's not what it is. So it's very obvious that you do tend to get a little bit of anxious. But when that anxiety continues, and it continues and it continues and it persists, then we say that, okay, this individual is a very anxious person. Because that kind of anxiety is that even if your glass of water is come late to you, breakfast is served late to you, or there's any important decision which you want to take yesterday, though you know you have tomorrow, and that anxiety is building up, that is called anxiety. So again, over to you, Sandeep ji, as to how would we manage the anxiety part.
Yeah.
One more thing, I will, sorry, interrupt. And anxiety is one of the main causes of gastrointestinal disturbances today. I think half the world, or I would say probably 7 out of 10 people suffer from what is called IBS, which is called the irritable bowel syndrome. And the main trigger is anxiety.
Yes.
Yes, Sandeep ji.
Yeah, I believe the anxiety, if you know what is tempo, every song has a tempo, right? Like if you're doing your Aarti for Navratri or Ganpati Aarti, if you don't sing that song in a particular tempo, what will happen? You're singing that song too fast or sometimes too slow. Anxiety is you're doing things too fast. Your mind has taken more acceleration. It's running too fast. So we have a very simple solution, and it's a therapeutic solution. We call this rhythm as a therapy. It not only calms you down, but it repairs you. It creates certain chemicals, and we are going to experience that. We call it 1:3 breathing ratio. Okay. So in one beat, we are going to inhale, and 3 beats, we are going to exhale. If I can see your faces, I will able to correct you also here. But if I can't see your faces, I will just explain my patterns. Of course, we have a regular breathing classes going on, so you can, I have given my number or my manager's number over there. You can contact and WhatsApp, and you are just one message away from good breathing. Okay, so 1:3. Everyone is ready? So 1 beat you inhale, just like a swimmer, big, and you exhale for 3 beats. You don't exhale 3 times, but you exhale 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's experiment, because unless and until you do not experiment, how will you come to know? Okay. So sit erect once again, drop your shoulders. You may remove your specs. You can close your eyes, drop your shoulders, arms loose. We are going to deal with anxiety.
Sit in any comfortable position. Drop your shoulders back straight. Relax your throat. Relax your face. 1:3 breathing pattern at 40 beats per minute. In this, 1 beat you inhale and 3 beats you exhale. Remember, you don't exhale for 3 times. It is just one long exhalation in 3 beats. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. With each inhalation, experience a sense of expansion, openness in that 1 beat, and with each exhalation, a feeling of relaxation and peacefulness in those 3 beats. Exhale. Exhale. You may exhale by mouth a couple of times. You may use hissing sound.
All right. Just observe once again changes to your brain, to your throat, to your chest. As I told you, this will not only help you to get rid of anxiety, but this particular pattern will create certain chemicals, and which is, you will feel very still, very slow or less mind. It is good to do. You can do this whenever you want. Just like a swimmer, if you observe swimmers, they have this breathing pattern. Inhale, exhale, 2 and 3. Inhale, 1, 2 and 3. I'm sorry to cut it off here because we have limited time and we have to do many things. And I have more beautiful soundtracks in the end, and we are definitely going to meditate more. So we have to finish this anxiety. This is just a sample. If you have question, there is a question on my WhatsApp, because I said I cannot handle the questions all here. I think Umesh will tell you when to ask questions, and you can WhatsApp me the question. That is more easier to read me instead of asking me, or you can ask Umesh also. He is the host, and he will ask in front of everyone.
Yes.
And yes, this is just a sample. So I'm sorry. People liked it and people want to do it longer, but we have limited time. Am I right, doctor?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so now we spoke of fear, we spoke of anxiety. What next? Any?
Yes, doctor,
What
you
does
tell
this
us.
lead to?
Yes, so this leads to
Umesh.
restlessness. Restlessness.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
So, what is restlessness again? You know, when anxiety levels increase, there's so much happening in the mind that you tend to become very restless. You know, you tend to get a little very fidgety. You know, you'll very often see, I'm sure a lot of, you know, people around, you must have noticed, tend to keep, you know, moving their legs, or they always tend to kind of, you know, keep hitting the pen on the table, or they're kind of fiddling their fingers. You know, these are all signs of restlessness. And you'll be really surprised that as a homeopath, these things are very important. And therefore, you know, when a patient comes to us, I mean, you know, we very kind of spyly and very secretively observe these kind of, you know, so-called mannerisms, you know, their reactions, their responses, you know, how they even answer a question, you know, how restless are they? I mean, they're all the time looking at the time that, oh God, now, you know, where have I come and got myself trapped? I need to move, you know. So that is restlessness. And restlessness, again, basically causes a lot of uneasiness. That uneasiness, again, causes a lot of gastrointestinal issues, a lot of hyperacidity, and so on and so forth. It could also lead to a lot of sleep disorders, which we'll come to later. Again, with restlessness, what happens? I mean, the mind gets so restless that you get into a state of insecurity, because then you're losing your confidence. And that's, you know, going on to the next phase or the next point or the next emotion that we were talking about is insecurity. Because when you're restless, when you're anxious, you tend to lose your self-confidence. So what is insecurity? Basically is the feeling of uncertainty, you know, that lack of self-confidence. Will I be able to do this? Will I be able to do that? Because your whole focus is shifted. So again, insecurity has its own repercussions. I mean, that's a whole long subject altogether. So since we're not really getting into pathology and we're not getting into disease, and we want to make this whole topic, you know, disease free, or, you know, so-called, you know, trying to remove all these negative emotions. So I think we need to concentrate on these points. So again, breathing also kind of puts all these things together. So over to you, Sandeep ji, to help us with this restless thing, because I'm sure in your class, I mean, I have been with Sandeep ji, and I have to say that I endorse every breath of his. He really does it so well. I've been doing it for the last 2 years, and you know, it's a big joke. Like, we see each other sometimes, which we shouldn't be doing, and we can see a lot of restless faces because we know what's brewing in their minds. So Sandeep, a little light on restlessness, feeling nervous, insecurity.
Yeah. To me, there is nothing negative and nothing positive in words. To define what is negative, which creates blocks, is negative to me. Which brings circulation is positive. So joy, whenever you are joyful, whenever you are happy, whenever you are celebrating, you know, your whole circulation changes. But whenever you are sad, whenever you are thinking too much about future, whenever you are worrying, those emotions also will create certain chemicals in you, and you feel down, 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 and heavy, heavy, heavy. But if you can bring those joyful emotions, you will feel light. If you're happy, you will feel more young. Am I right?
Absolutely.
So we are just going to deal with this restlessness and insecurity together. Okay. So there is a very, very famous breathing pattern. It is very famous all over the world. Even the World Health Organization has claimed this is as a medicine, and everyone knows it. It is called Kapalbhati. Okay, but I have a different Kapalbhati. So we'll be doing musical Kapalbhati with the right beat, or rather on the right beat. Okay, so I'm going to play, and I'm just explain. Kapalbhati is you exhale, your exhalation is active. And between two exhalations, there is a silent, secret inhalation. You inhale also. There is a disclaimer: those who have a high blood pressure, don't force. If you are tired, if you have a headache, if you feel dizzy, please don't try this. You need more practice, you need more direction, you need more guidance. Okay? So otherwise, people can do this easily, and it will definitely bring a lot of energy to your brain cells, a lot of energy in your chest, a lot of energy in your stomach. So are you ready? Okay, so let's start. On the beat, 1, 2. If I can see you, I can correct you. Right on the beat. Just like you play Garba, instead of clapping, we do Kapalbhati. Yes, you crunch your stomach on the beat, every count, exhale, exhale. It is always better to see you and correct you, but it is okay. This is just a kind of a sample. Try and understand the mathematics. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beshi, can you hear the music properly? Come on, right on the beat. Last 1 minute to go. Enjoy the beat, do it joyfully, relax your face, smile a bit. It's just like Garba. Garba is happening in your stomach. Crunch, 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 crunch. The meaning of Kapalbhati: Kapal means your forehead, and Bhati means to shine. This particular exercise will shine your fortune. I will just tell one benefit, and then you will say everyone wants to do this. Only high blood pressure people be aware. They can come to me. I will tell the right pace. Otherwise, everyone can do it. But why this will shine your fortune? Because it brings life to your brain cells. And brain cells, we do not reproduce. All other body cells we reproduce. So this will keep you more young. What is aging? You start losing your brain cells step by step, step by step. Maybe the amount of brain cells at the age of 30, 40, 50, 60. If you have less brain cells, your hand and eye coordination, your eyesight, your hearing, your balancing. So if you do Kapalabhati, everything is going to remain intact. This is the additional. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. That was really very well explained. And we are getting a lot of questions. So I'd just like to tell our wonderful audience over here that thank you for your questions. We'll be answering your questions at the end once we have reached the end of the program. So moving on to you, Dr. Daswani, if you could very quickly highlight to us our next emotional trigger.
Yeah. So again, with all these things, what is the one thing that really gets affected, the one thing that we're all so, that's so precious to all of us, I can say it for myself, is sleep. Sleep is one such thing which I think is so precious to all of us. And a little bit of less sleep, a little bit of disturbed sleep, a little bit of, restless sleep, it just takes us off our ground, it takes us off our feet, and the whole day just goes really bad. So cumulative effects of fears, anxieties, these are, I think, all the manures that we are adding into that one brain, and then it takes a toll and it definitely affects our sleep. Now, when sleep gets affected in various forms, a lot of people say, talking about sleep, okay? A lot of people, especially in these times and days, are experiencing horrific dreams, dreams which are as good as real. But, and a lot of people then say that, no, but we don't dream, but that's not possible, because dreaming is definitely part of sleeping, it's just that you don't remember your dreams, so you feel you're not dreaming. So again, sleep disorders has been a very, very common ailment, a very common complaint, and you'll be surprised that, I have been treating so many youngsters that, it's amazing. Like, I don't remember in my teens, or I don't remember our teenage friends ever saying that, we can't sleep, we have a sleep problem. People are nowadays at young age taking melatonin, and, there's something called sleep pakka, and there's something called, various things and concussions, and it's all happening right from the age of 14, 15. So this is again something which we all need to address. We need to be very conscious, and I think it's an important point. And there again, we have breathing techniques, which I feel is an important subject to even include in an academic curriculum, because it not only improves your sleep, but I'm sure it definitely improves your concentration, it improves your memory. You have students with so much of pressure that they tend to have, blackouts, they're unable to concentrate, and all that again leads to what? It leads to a lot of frustration, it leads to a lot of anger, it leads to a lot of violence. Violence is self-violence, violence to others, violence in community. So basically, all this is coming from where? So we need to look into that. And that is our topic. That is what we all are here together. With our own little experiences, we need to kind of remove this toxicity from our system. And I'm sure if we benefit even a little bit, even a wee bit, and we continue this practice, we're going to go a long way, and we're going to be real warriors in the true sense of the word. So Sandeep ji, I'm sure sleep has been one of the commonest ailments lot of people must be coming to you for that, neend nahi aati.
Yes, a lot of people come for that, and a lot of people sleep in my class, and then they start snoring, and then I have to wake them up and tell them, "Keep boss, class is over, please go now. There are other
And
students
prove
waiting
them
outside."
wrong that they can sleep.
No, you can sleep, and I can bring sleep to people right now if you are ready to participate.
No, we don't want that.
At least you will feel sleepy. You will feel tranquilized. You will feel you have taken some, maybe a glass of wine or something. I don't know. But you will feel like that you're just sweating. But if you participate with some involvement, it is a very simple breathing pattern. All right. Are you ready, guys? I am always
Absolutely.
Okay, in my class.
Absolutely ready.
Yes, we are all ready. Please go ahead.
Thanks a lot.
Yes.
We call it Ujjayi Pranayam. So just, there is very simple. I'll explain first and then I will play the track. So just inhale as slowly as you can, as more as you can. Then wait for 2 seconds. Say 1, 2. And then just try and exhale as slowly as you can, just like a puncture tube. You can create this sound also if you like. Or you can just exhale normally if you want. And when you finish your exhalation, total, then wait for 4 seconds. All right, guys, close your eyes. Just drop your shoulders. You can sit with support and just allow your brain to relax. The relaxation is possible only if you allow yourself to relax. You have to bring smile to your brain. You have to bring smile to your face. You have to bring smile to your throat. You have to bring smile to your chest. There you go.
Ujjayi Pranayam. Inhale as deeply as you can, then wait for 2 seconds. Exhale as slowly as you can, and then wait for 4 seconds. Feel the air entering to the lowest part of your lungs every time you inhale. Your stomach may bulge out, then chest expanding. Try to inhale as much as you can. Remember to wait for 2 seconds without force. Then start exhaling, chest falling, relax. And finally stomach moves in. Exhale completely. And after every exhalation, remember to wait for 4 seconds. Every inhalation is responsible for life force energy. Life is happening with every inhalation. Then there is a gap for 2 seconds. With every exhalation, slowly and slowly, you are back to existence gracefully with total acceptance. And once you finish your exhalation, there is a gap. for 4 seconds. Inhale, wait 2 seconds. Exhale completely. Wait 4 seconds. If you feel dizzy or if you get headache, please stop the practice for few seconds, few minutes, and join again. Relax your face. Remember not to apply any force. No competitive efforts. Inhale deeply. Wait for 2 seconds. Exhale slowly and completely. Wait 4 seconds.
Just allow yourself to relax. Don't open your eyes. Now join your palms, rub your palms on each other, and then rest your palms on top of your eyes. Looking at your own palms, very slowly open your eyes. All right. Umeshji, probably will have to switch on the alarm clock to wake everyone up.
No, awesome. It was awesome. And I am going to be practicing this. I'm going to go back on Facebook and watch this again because I'm moderating. I wasn't able to participate, but I can see a lot of relaxed faces. So without sounding and taking it too quickly, let me just, immediately rush down to, answer take some questions because I think we are at the point of time where we can take audience questions. A lot of them have been pouring in, but before that, I just would like to highlight to all of our wonderful audience over here, a very august audience that is over here, that a lot of your questions have come in, and of course, we'll try to club some questions so that one person's question might also answer another person's question. And also, as per the time permits, our panelists will do their best. A humble request that I have from our team over here for all of you to please remain till the very end, because we are conducting a 3-minute meditation invoking the goddess and goddesses, and of course offering them our gratitude and obeisances, seeking their grace to help us sail through the rough waters. Like I said, this Navratri is indeed on a different beat. So very quickly, I'll just start taking the questions which have been pouring in right since the start of the seminar that we've been doing over here. And I'd like to take one question over here to Dr. Daswani. I'd like to ask you, first of all, in the current scenario, we have been seeing that there's a lot of very disturbing events like suicides, teenage, youngster, or adolescents, and people of all age groups committing suicides. So I think that's the red flag of the hour that we need to address, and I would love to get your inputs on that.
Unfortunately, it is true. It is a red flag. Also, I would not be able to really give in that much of input because I am not a psychiatrist, by profession. So there are, but what we do, I mean, we also treat a lot of, individuals having suicidal tendencies because our whole system of medicine is more mind over matter. And I think if it's nipped in the bud, I mean, we've definitely seen cases, getting totally reversed, definitely much more happy, much more jovial. I mean, and when they think back, I mean, they say, oh, did we ever think like that? So again, the problem is that, there's so much happening around us, right from competition to a lot of discontentment. I mean, basically, what is suicide? I mean, suicide is you're making your own self very unhappy. And that unhappiness could be, I mean, from a simple materialistic thing to probably, to something very emotional, something, which we can't really point, or we can't lay our hands on. But it's definitely an important thing which should not be ignored. And I'm very happy to see that, organizations like Empower, and there are a lot of schools now who are, actually looking at mental health, in the teenage, in the youngsters, in the adolescents. And I'm sure, we will, with sessions of counseling. And again, it's all about talking. We need to, I mean, like they say, it's okay not to be okay. So there's no harm. I mean, you're not the odd one out. I mean, so by
Yes.
speaking, it's not that, you are abnormal or there's something wrong. No, the other person is also probably going through worse, but is not able to speak it out. So I think the thumb rule is that we need to be vocal, we need to express ourselves. We don't need to harbor, these kind of negative emotions. I mean, if it's anger, if there's any such thing which is going over the health, I mean, we need to take help of a counselor. I mean, today, why should we feel that just going to a counselor or going to a psychiatrist is that, oh, this person is probably insane or is going cuckoo, or I mean, that mindset we have to change. It's really sad. I mean, it's really very sad when you read and hear in the media about teenage suicide and, things like that, which is very, very unfortunate. So I think we need to really collectively create that awareness and find solutions, find social groups, social media, platforms like this, exchange of thought, and, definitely try and throw light on the repercussions it can have on the family, so that is what is important. And I'm sure if we nip it in the bud, they will, like the pandemic is showing a little decline, I'm sure this is also definitely going to decline, a lot of positivity, a lot of good breathing, good exercise, yoga, exercise, I think is the need of the hour, to kind of train your mind and body. And I'm sure you won't be able to think like that. Suicidal thoughts will not come.
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
see.
Thanks for highlighting that, Dr. Anita. Sandeep ji, I'd like to ask you, and I'm going to club two questions over here. One is coming from Tejinder ji, who joined us from Thane, and he's asking that how do I measure the result of zero anxiety with the breath work that you have taught us? So I'd like to club this question. How do we know that we have reached? Yeah, so how do we know that we have reached, zero anxiety, where our anxiety has completely left us through the breath work that you've taught us? And I'd like to combine it with one more question, which is for breathing techniques, are they useful for everyone, including COVID patients? So somebody who is just out of COVID and recouping back, getting back to normal life. would it also COVID? Please, if you could highlight.
Actually, your voice was cracking in between. I cannot understand.
I'll repeat. I'm so sorry. I'll repeat the question. I'm going to combine two questions. Like I said, we have Mr. Tejinder's question from Thane, and he says, "How do I know I have reached zero anxiety with the breath work that you have taught?" All right, that is the first question. And the second question I'm connecting it with is that is breath work exercises good?
I missed the first question. I'm sorry, the voice was cracking. Maybe your internet connection is a bit unstable. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, okay. Let me know if you can hear me clearly now.
Just WhatsApp me the question. I know the second question. The first question, please WhatsApp me. I'll try to just answer the second question first.
Sandeep, can you hear me? Then I can just tell you. So the gentleman,
I can hear you.
The gentleman was asking that how do I know with the breathing exercise that I am at anxiety zero? You know, that my anxiety levels are zero.
Yeah.
How do we gauge that?
Yeah, okay, I got it. Thank you, doctor. It is not possible to understand the effect of breathing technique in just a few seconds or a few minutes. Okay, you need to practice them. You need to learn them first, and you need to practice them. And maybe in 10 days' time, I always call it more mind, less mind, and zero mind. Definitely, you will see less number of thoughts per minute and less mind, and you can experience. So the anxiety is equal to more mind. Anxiety is equal to mind is at the driver's seat. Mind is driving you crazy. Anxiety is your mind is your master. And breathing will, if you learn breathing, it is said in Hatha Yoga Pradipika, mind is king of body and breathing is king of mind. So breathing should be at the driver's seat, and very soon you'll come to know the anxiety is almost disappear.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I will be practicing this, though I was not expecting to happen in seconds also. But I just would take just half a second is that even if it happens in 10 days and religiously if it is done, I think 100 marks to you, sir, because this session would be of a great help, because I'm going through a pulse rate of 145, wherein my anxiety is disturbing me, and I'm just taking some pills, which has been recommended by the doctor. Now it is improving with over a course of time, but it come to 109, 110 now. But that is really related to the anxiety. I'm surprised, and that has only happened now. So I'm just getting worried if this breathing exercise is going to help me. I'm grateful to all of you guys. Thank you very much.
Next time you can come to my class with the oximeter, and you can take the read. Yes, seriously.
I will do that.
Seriously. I have seen people giving 90 beats per minute pulse rate, and in just one session, they are showing me the oximeter at 72 beats per minute.
That's what I want to achieve.
But from 145 beats per minute, it's very, very high. And I can give you just one more solution. I call it birthday breathing. So just try and exhale by mouth as if today is your 100th birthday. You want to blow 100 candles, but very fine, like this. And just, you have taken down my number. You can just message me in 3 days.
I'll do that.
Your the anxiety rate, the heart rate should come down. See, the heart rate is immediate measurable, but what about kidneys? What about liver?
That's all fantastic. That's all fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It was 145. It scaled down to 130. Now it has scaled down to 109. I'm between 104 and 109. I want to improve that.
Next time, whenever you come to the breathing class, come with that pulsometer or oximeter, and before and after, and you start writing it in your diary. In 10 days, you will only come to know.
It has become a part of a keyring now, an oximeter.
Yeah.
True.
Thank you.
Nowadays, oximeter is very
Thank you. Thank you for your time, sir. Thank you very much.
Sandeep, the second question was that will breathing help? Of course, we've seen that it's definitely helpful for improving the functioning of the lungs, and therefore, COVID being the virus which affects the pulmonary organs. Okay, we've definitely seen the difference of breathing in a COVID patient, but is it also helpful in post-COVID? do you advise that there should be a pattern or a regimen which one should advise and give it as a prescription to post-COVID patients? So that was, I think, one of the questions.
Okay,
Yes.
straight is, first of all, what is happening with the COVID is it is going to attack the elasticity of your lungs. Okay, so you need some physiotherapy exercise also, like breathing with some body movements. So you inhale and exhale, or you inhale and exhale to bring back the elasticity of our lungs. At the same time, you have to improve the muscles, helping your lungs to inhale more and exhale. So like your abdominal muscles, your thoracic muscles, your chest muscle, and your clavics. The question people ask, is this for everyone, this breathing class? You know, this is the most consistent activity we are doing since we are born, breathing. You know, if you ask me in school time, what are the 3 basic necessities? People say roti, kapda, or makan. Where is the breathing? Breathing should come first. Breathing, roti, and then kapda. Makan will get the 4th. Okay. So this class is not about to explain the importance of breathing. We know breathing is life. This class, the breathing class, is about how to reprogram your breathing. Is it possible to reprogram? Yes, it is. You're brushing your teeth with right hand. You try with your left hand. You need about 90 days to reprogram. Reprogram is something like you have done cycling or swimming, and after 10 years you jump into the water. You don't say, I'm going to remember my swimming lessons now. You start swimming. So breathing, everyone needs to reprogram breathing. So whenever you go to sleep in the night for 8 hours, your sleep can become meditation. The breathing rate, the respiratory rate. Now I have this gadget. It checks my respiratory rate also. There are new gadgets are coming. The Apple phone is launching with breathing app. Now people are started talking good about breathing. So it is not about just breathing. You must understand the difference between breathing and good breathing, and maybe later on good breathing and an intelligent breathing. This is different, you know, and you are intelligent. You need to know what is intelligent breathing, what is healing with breathing. Can breathing heal my all psychological disorders or physiological disorders or psychosomatic disorders? Is it possible? I was giving this sleep lesson just a few minutes back, and I saw Mr. Gidwani was doing. Maybe in my last meeting, he was asking me a question on sleep apnea. And I straight away, and I'm straightforward, if you are interested to get rid of any disease, it is possible. You have to take that step. You have to learn different patterns. You have to join. You have to try at least for 10 days, then probably 20 days. And as Dr. said, she's doing from last 2 years. So you have to change the way you breathe in and breathe out. There are 2 important factors I always say in my class. One is your digestion, factor number 1. But factor number 2, actually, lungs. We inhale and we exhale 24/7, even in deep sleep. As I played this music for sleeping, it not only improves, it not only make you fall asleep, but it improves the quality of your sleep. Then you may need only 3 hours, 4 hours, or 5 hours max, and you are so fresh. If you can reprogram your breathing, then there is less laziness, there is less lethargy. So I think this program is for everyone. And particularly, yes, as you said, doctor, for post-COVID, because COVID is nothing but attack on your lungs. It is going to eat the cavities of your lungs. That virus loves those cavities. And slowly, your lungs are going to become like a thermocol. Your lungs are like supposed to be like sponge, flexible, but they will become tight. And then you're as if someone is holding you here and asking you to do deep breathing. Okay. So you have to learn deep breathing techniques, different breathing patterns, and this program is for everyone, and I think everyone should go for it. Wow.
Thanks so much, Sandeep ji. I'm again going to combine 2 questions for Dr. Anita. This one question is from Pradeep Gidwani. He says that would you call fear an abnormality or a psychological problem? And I'm combining it with one more question over here. There's a lot of cases of OCD What exactly, doctor, is OCD? If you can highlight that for us.
Okay, so answering the first question, that it's not an abnormality. Fear is not an abnormality. It's just a sensation. It's an emotion, and it is definitely psychosomatic. You know, it's definitely psychological, and it's something which can be overcome. So fear cannot remain lifelong. I mean, we treat, you know, claustrophobia, we treat aerophobia, we treat, you know, hydrophobia, that is fear of water. We treat, I mean, you know, there's so many such phobias which are very treatable. So again, it's all more related to the mind. And therefore, in our study or in our case study or in our, you know, case history that we do with the patient, we try and go deep down to the root and try and find out as to, there must have been something in the past. You know, it could have been just reading a book. It could have been just reading, you know, or watching one of these horror films, you know, and over a conversation, and once you know, develop the rapport with the patient or with the parent or with the guardian, whoever, depending on the age, it's very easy to try and pinpoint as to, you know, where that, where the bug is. And that is what kind of leads to, it's the same thing, that you're harboring it and you're nurturing it, and then it becomes a manifestation. And then you say, oh, like fear is now an abnormality. It's not an abnormality. It's definitely treatable, and there's nothing to feel scared about it. There's nothing to feel bad about it, and there's nothing to not treat about it. I mean, you should talk to a doctor, talk to a physician. Call me Pradeep, you know me very well. So, you know, that's what it is. And talking about OCD, again, OCD is, you know, basically nowadays become very common. I mean, today we hear a lot of the teenage, you know, suddenly saying, I think I'm suffering from OCD. But what is OCD? It's obsessive compulsive disorder. And it is, you know, when there are certain thoughts or where there are certain traumatic effects, again, which are lying deep within your system, and this is persistently bothering you, or it's persistently, you know, nagging you, again, it manifests into what is called an obsessive compulsive disorder. And I must narrate or share this story. I mean, not a story, but it was a live, I mean, a case of a patient where, you know, very lively. I mean, I would always tell her that, you know, I need to learn how to live the way you live. And unfortunately, her husband, you know, developed Parkinson's, and he was like really bad. And, you know, the whole family was like a very nuclear family and all that. And she just couldn't handle it. And suddenly one day when she came, she was all spaced out. And you know what she tells me, that, you know, she fired the girl who's working in my clinic and said, okay, you know, why is your clinic so dirty? And I have to tell you one thing, and I'm very proud that my clinic is just anything but dirty. So I was like a little perturbed and disturbed. And each time, I mean, you know, she was seeing me every week. And then one day she tells me, you know, there's so much of the pigeon poo that's around. Don't you clean it? And the third time when I saw her, she was actually wearing gumboots. And she was, you know, we could see, because she would take an appointment and we knew that she was coming. And we would see her actually, you know, going past the poo stains and, you know, then coming in, asking for water, bringing her own thermos of water, getting 2 napkins. So that is OCD. And, you know, then I realized, and when we spoke at length, and, you know, I knew that her husband was suffering from a problem, but I didn't know the gravity of the situation. I mean, it reached to such an extent that they had a little pet in the house, which they had to give away, because every time the pet would move around, you know, she would have her domestic help. Abhi jhadu lagao, chindi lagao, Dettol dalo, Lysol dalo. I mean, it became, you know, it reached that intensity. So what my point is that we need to nip these things in the bud. I mean, she came out with all this at a much later stage. And so initially, even I was wondering, you know, it's later that I realized that, yeah, this is actually what OCD is all about. So you need to again differentiate, and we can't just label, you know, like, you know, just very, okay. It's very common. The first thing people will say OCD is when you're frequently washing your hands. But how frequently? You know, that is important. And why are you doing that? That is even more important. So, you know, situations like that, again, with our experience and with our science, I think I'm very blessed to have taken up this field of medicine, because it's a lot to do with psychology. It's a lot to do of really, you know, working out individualistic remedies and trying to give the remedy that best fits the individual. And it's very it's very kind of fulfilling to see that, you know, they do get cured, they do see the benefit. And that's all I pray and hope, that, you know, we can continue our services to humanity as much as we can.
Thank you so much for that answer. I think we just have time for one more question, but very quickly, I'm just going to ask you a question, Sandeep ji. What's the difference between, because I saw this question earlier on about Sudarshan Kriya, somebody mentioned, so I guess that is like something like a traditional so what's the difference between dynamic breathwork, your brand, and traditional pranayama? Yes, Sandeep ji? Sandeep ji, can you hear me?
I will repeat the question. Is this the question? What is the difference between dynamic breathwork and traditional
And
pranayama?
yes.
Can you hear?
Your voice is cracking actually. Yeah.
Can you see me now? Can you?
Yes.
Sometimes there is a notice coming that your internet connection is unstable. And now, can you hear me again, Dr. Arita? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're very audible.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think the question I have. What is the difference between dynamic breathwork and traditional pranayama? Yes, it's a very good question, and it's a very common question. There is no big difference. Dynamic breathwork is an upgradation of traditional pranayama. How we upgrade our operating systems, how we upgrade our mobile phones, how we upgrade our various homes and lifestyles. So we have brought some tune to it. We have brought some rhythm to it. With music and with certain new ideas, it becomes more joyful experience. Okay, so if you are master of your breathing, you can be master of your mind. That is the main from Hatha Yoga Pratipika, and it is like a evolving science. So we have added more music, we have added more beats, and how to manage our breathing, how to reprogram our breathing. People do not even know how many times they inhale and exhale in 1 minute. What will happen if they slow down a bit? You know, because breathing is never kind of an important priority. All right?
Yes. Thank you so much for that answer. I'm going to ask the last question now to Dr. Daswani. If you could just throw light to us, how can homeopathy help reduce stress? If you can just throw some light on that.
Umesh, I would love to answer that question, but I think we're running out of time.
Okay.
In all fairness, but whoever's asked the question, please share my number, because it's going to be a very long answer.
All right.
But we can definitely help all these conditions. Yes. I don't think it's fair we trespass. So, and we're all looking forward to Sandeep ji's short
meditation. Yes.
Which is the need, and I think our time to pray and offer our gratitude. So
excellent.
I'm sorry, whoever's asked that question, but be ensured that I will definitely get back to you. That's my promise.
Excellent.
Thank you. We have a male energy and female energy. Okay. The male energy means calculations, mathematics, geometry, science, chemistry, go get it, ambition, desires, female energy, music, rhythm, drawing, painting, surrender, relax, let go. So this Navratri means we have to celebrate the female energy. That is why we dance. Otherwise, who goes to the road and dance, right? So we are just going to bring some kind of a dance in our breathing systems. So in the first half, as I instruct when to inhale and when to exhale, 2 times we inhale, 2 beats we inhale and 2 beats we exhale. And the second half we inhale 4 beats and 4 beats we exhale. I know the time is very limited and I would love to explain these breathing patterns and what are the chemical changes, but it is difficult. So just experience this meditative state, and I call it Maggie meditation also sometimes, 2 minutes, you know. So let us start with that. So close your eyes.
Drop your shoulders. Arms loose.
Just watch your breathing. Air moving in, air moving out. Stay aware.
You will be doing the first half with my instructions. Consciously inhale, consciously exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. No force, no pressure. Inhale, exhale. Do it joyfully. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Get ready for the second level, which is 4 in, 4 out. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale,
Just be aware of your breath. Now, no more pattern, no more mathematics, No analysis, no interpretation, just air moving in, and enjoy the journey of every inhalation, moving till the bottom of your lungs, and then the return journey, air moves out. Just remain a passive observer of this entire process. And each time you inhale, you are reborn. And each time you exhale, you are relaxed. Please join your palms, rub your palms on each other, and then place your palms on top of your eyes. Looking at your own palms, very slowly open your eyes. Thank you very much for your cooperation and your time and your support.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandeep ji. Very, very enlightening, very enriching session we had. Dr. Anita, we can't. Yes, there you are. Thank you so much. And Dr. Anita, would you like to share any parting words with our audience over here now as we bring this to an end?
Once again, a very big thank you to everybody. It only encourages us, you know, when we have an audience, you know, we feel that we can, I mean, we just get that motivation, you know. So it always encourages us to do even more. So thank you once again, everybody, for taking out your time. But we cannot end the session until Sandeep ji says his little Durga prayer. So
actually, I have a song actually.
So please, yeah, we look forward to that, because I think in such auspicious days, you know, we shouldn't forget the mercy of the goddess.
Thank you for everyone. I just tell you one homework. Whenever you see mirror, you have to tell the mirror that I love my breathing and I'm going to improve my breathing. I'm going to take time to inhale and I'm going to take time to exhale. By saying I love breathing, you are just acknowledging I love life. And yes, life is beautiful. All right. So just enjoy this, my favorite Durga Bhajan.
सब सुख झूठे सब दुख झूठे इस जीवन का सार है तू तू सत्यं तू शिवम सुंदरम तू सत्यं तू शिवम सुंदरम हम सब चपल तेरे अम्बे चरण कमल अम्बे चरण कमल
Beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful. That was absolutely relaxing and very, very wonderful. So it's been a wonderful session. Once again, thank you so much, Dr. Anita. And thank you so much, Sandeep ji, for sharing those wonderful insights and solutions, permanent solutions, and helping us bring our mind and body in synchronization, and as Dr. Anita very rightly put it, catching the right beat. So thank you so much, and heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who has joined us. Of course, we have shared Sandeep ji's number. Also, Dr. Anita ji's number is available if anybody would like to get in touch with her and consult her for her professional services. So there is, of course, ample of scope and ample of goodness out there, and a little bit has been brought here to you today via this medium. So thank you so much for joining in. Please do spread the word. This video is also going to be available on Facebook for those of you who would like to go back and revisit. An ideal thing would be to, of course, come down to Sandeep ji and join the class to actually feel the benefits of, this is a lifelong commitment. It isn't just about breathing one day and forgetting about it the next. Like he said, to create a new habit, you need some time. So it's been wonderful. I thank you all once again.
A big thank you,
bless.
Umesh, for putting this together for us and coordinating everything. So a big thank you.
My pleasure, and thank you for this honor.
Big
And I
thank you
look
very much.
forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. It's always a pleasure and honor to be enlightened by one. Thank you so much. Look forward to the next time. Thank you very much.
Shive Sarvarthu Sadike Sharanaya Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute.